Big week this week. Obviously, heavy into our preparation for Northern Illinois. Battle for the Bronze Stalk last year. 1-point game. Came down to the last play of the game. So, been busy. Obviously, focused on having a great week of preparation here. It's MAC season. Obviously, we lost a tough game the other night on the road. You go back, you watch that tape. You have a meeting with the guys. We had the lead there. 23-20 with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And really, I don't take anything away from Georgia Southern. They earned the victory, but there's things that we're putting out there on tape, things that we're doing to ourselves in the fourth quarter. We're really we're contributing heavily to beating ourselves, and so we got to keep focusing on getting those things cleaned up. I'm very confident that we'll get that done. But we had to make those corrections quickly. We addressed that on Sunday, and really it's full speed ahead here because Northern Illinois is the defending Mid-American Conference champions. They're coming into our house here at Schumann Stadium. We're excited to be back home again. I'm going to have a great week of preparation here.
I don't want to dread too much on Saturday.
It's all good.
I think you guys had like a 4th and 4 right around midfield there before obviously Georgia Southern scored the touchdown. Is there a thought to go for it there, or what kind of thought process?
Had certainly considered that, but felt like our success on 4th down so far this season hasn't been great, and so made the decision to punt the football, play good defense there. So that was really what went into it more than anything else. We just haven't been as good on 4th down this year as we need to be. I'm not saying there won't be a point in time where I would consider that, but right now that's really what led to the decision more than anything else.
I know you talk about execution late in games is really kind of what determines it for you guys. What can you guys do to execute at a higher level in those crunch situations?
Yeah, well, you think about it, and really it's some of the self-inflicted wounds that we've had in all phases. Obviously when you think about us, we had possession of the football on our own 8-yard line. That's the 10-minute, 3-second mark left in the fourth, where we possessed the ball at the 8. We had a chance for a first down, a little release here, maybe the ball located a little bit better there. We convert that into a first down. Then obviously we put the special teams unit in a bad situation there, coming out to punt, had a short punt there, gave them great field position, had a critical pass interference on defense on 2nd down and long where it was incomplete. Certainly when you look at the tape, you could say, man, that was close. What did he really do wrong there? But it was called. And so, those are things that we got to take out of it. And then obviously they scored on that possession. They kicked the ball off to us. We got a drive going. We crossed midfield. Carson had a big run into their territory. And, Johans was blocking the guy. He blocked him off the sideline, and we got called for a penalty. So those are things that we got to get removed from the game. It's not a matter of effort. It's not a matter of, guys not knowing or being bought in. It's just a matter of, listen, man, that's what's getting called right now. And we got to eliminate that. And that's why I referred to after the game about beating ourselves. I'm not taking anything away from Georgia Southern. They earned the win. They played better in critical situation there in the fourth quarter than we did. But we gotta make sure that we don't have mistakes that take place where we're self-inflicted and we're beating ourselves there.
Yeah. And obviously 1-3, but 2 of those games, maybe some of those things flip
no
different
doubt.
results. But is there a certain confidence to take away knowing that it's not like there's a whole ton to fix. It's just kind of executing.
It's the little things, and I preach that as much as anything every day, day in, day out, about being bought into the details. It's the littlest of little things that ultimately make the difference when you talk about playing tired in the third quarter, playing tired in the fourth quarter, and that's what we just got to continue to preach. I'm very confident in this football team. I believe in this football team, and I believe our best football is ahead of us. Yes, we're 1-3 right now. We've had 2 games that we play better in the fourth quarter, and we're able to finish in the fourth quarter, different outcome. We can continue to keep working on that. It's not a big gap in terms of, man, I love the talent level in our football, in our room here. I love the mindset of our football team, the way they approach each and every day. We just got to keep working on us. There's nothing magical that we can do. We just have to believe in ourselves and keep building our confidence so that we can go execute in the fourth quarter when we need to. And this is a good conference, and as we all know, that there's been a lot of one-possession games over the years, and we're facing a great opponent here at home.
And I guess, is it easier to add to that confidence when you look back last year and you guys were in this same sort of situation, sitting at 1-3?
Yeah, well, and that's not something that I'm proud of.
Yeah.
By any means, but you look at the Mid-American Conference right now, 8 teams are 1-3, 4 are 2-2. Obviously, we play some tough, challenging non-conference opponents. All Mid-American Conference schools do, but that's what it is right now. And now it's MAC season. We'll have a pause there a couple weeks down the road when we have our final non-conference game. But man, it's MAC season right now, full speed ahead, and week in, week out, it's going to be a dogfight, and you just got to play your best football. And what we've done through the first 4 weeks here, we've done a lot of good things, but we got to continue to clean up ourselves and make sure we continue to get better so we can finish games when we need to get that done.
Coach, what challenges does NIU provide?
They're just like a year ago, they're extremely well-rounded football team, very good defensive team, very good offensive team. They got playmakers all over the field, very sound on special teams. They're not one team that where you can look at and say, well, if we just take this away, we're going to be in good shape. They got multiple runners. Both those guys are putting up really good numbers this year. Obviously, Rocky Lombardi, I know he was limited some this past week, but obviously he led them to a MAC championship a year ago, so he's a championship quarterback that is playing at a high level up to this point in the season. They play good defense. They're second in the league in sacks right now, so they're going to be able to pressure the quarterback. They gave Kentucky a heck of a football game, gave them everything that they wanted the other night. So we're playing against a good football team that's good in all phases. Coach Hammock's done a great job. That's his alma mater, so certainly he takes a lot of pride in leading them to a MAC title. And they come in here. This is their first MAC game. It's a battle for the Bronze Stalk, and I'm sure the intensity level will be high for both teams, rightfully so. But we're excited. I know our guys are excited, and we'll be ready to go. It's going to be a great week here to get after it on the practice field and make sure we're ready to roll.
It means a lot every year, but the Battle of the Bronze Stalk, how much more does it mean this year?
It's the next year, so it just means more than it did a year ago because it's the next one on the schedule. And anytime it's a trophy game like that our guys want to do their part to make sure that we give ourselves a chance to win and get that trophy back in Muncie, Indiana. So I'm sure their approach is the same. They want to keep that in DeKalb, Illinois. So it's going to be a great game against two football teams that are hungry. And it's all going to come down to the week of preparation and go out and execute on Saturday.
Coach, you mentioned that Northern Illinois has playmakers in all facets, kind of like with Georgia Southern. They had the wide receivers, running backs, and you and I talked about that. But Northern Illinois, similar situation. They've got running backs, wide receivers. How has the experience against teams this year helped prepare the defense against so many different playmakers?
There's no question. We've been exposed to a lot already here through 4 games. We've seen a lot in terms of offensive football teams that have tried to attack us in certain ways, starting with the opening game with the significant amount of tempo that we saw against Tennessee. Obviously Georgia Southern really spread it out. They tried to challenge you that way with some of the perimeter throws, force you to be a good tackling team, force you to communicate. There's a few communication errors that we had the other night that we can get cleaned up. It's not a matter of being lacking talent or skill set in a certain area. It's a matter of cleaning up the communication errors that we had so they don't show up again. But it's a good football team, and obviously with Coach Hammock's background as being a running back coach in the National Football League with a great organization, he wants to run the football. He was a running back, and no matter what level or what when you're playing week in, week out, you always want to establish a run, and that'll be something certainly that they want to do. But they can throw it when they want to throw it, and they've got some talented playmakers, as you mentioned, all over the field.
How valuable has Jordan Riley been in the secondary this year for you?
Yeah, it's really been, when you even turn on the tape, man, his physicality, his making plays all over the field defensively, making plays in space. He's a physical presence, and to be a young football player, you can see his confidence level growing, man, every single week, and he just gets more confident in himself. But he loves football, and he, he thrives in those situations, and just to see him flying around all over that football field is a lot of fun, because he, that showed up early in the process when Jordan Riley arrived here on campus at Ball State, and when we started practicing for the first time, you're like, whoa, who is that? And so that's great to see his hard work pay off for himself, and to be in the position that he's in right now and just getting better every week is awesome to see.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Coach.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, we'll take questions from Von.
Guess, how have you felt to the start of the year so far?
Great. I felt good. For a kicker, it's pretty simple. You're making kicks, you're missing kicks, or you're putting your kickoffs in the right spot, or you missing your spots. It's pretty black and white, and I felt good about that on my end. Obviously, 1 of 3 starters and what we're looking for. But that's why we got this Saturday. We got the next game up. So.
Sure. I guess take me through your career kind of a bit. What brought you here to Ball State this year?
Yeah, I spent 4 years at Indiana Wesleyan University, which is an NAIA school in Marion, about 35-40 minutes north of here. Small school, started a football program in 2018, so I came in, and that was our first season that we played. It was a 4-year starter there. Had a ton of fun. We ended up winning the conference championship in my senior year, and so had an awesome experience there. Out of high school, always had the dream to play Division I football, and the opportunity just never presented itself. Just felt like the doors, they just weren't open, and so I went the small school route because I felt like that's what God was calling me to do. But then with COVID, you get an extra year of eligibility, and right away, as soon as we found out we had an extra year of eligibility, I was like, I'm going to try and make this happen. And so after my senior season at Indiana Wesleyan, there's technically no portal to enter in the NAIA. You essentially just put your name out there and say you would like to play another year. And so that's what I did. Contacted so many Division I programs. I contacted every school in the MAC, contacted any school I could think of, and Ball State was the only FBS school that got back with me. And so, again, it was just like one door after another open for me to come here and to play my 5th year of football here. And so that's what I did. And so really, being able to play football here is fulfilling a dream that I've had since I was a freshman in high school, to play Division I football. And so every day that I walk in here, it sounds cheesy, but I'm just so grateful to be here. Like, I'm just really happy to be here every single day. Every day before practice, I sit in the locker room in my locker and just thank God for the opportunity to be here, because not many guys get the chance that I'm getting right now. And so I'm not going to take that for granted. But, yeah, that's how I got here, and I'm loving it. So,
I guess, what was the mindset coming in knowing that this was the one door that opened for you? What did you, or what do you, or did you / do you want to achieve this season?
I mean, my old head coach just told me, give it all you have. Give it everything you have. And so that's what I'm doing. I got here in May, and I had 10 weeks of summer workouts. And so I attacked those 10 weeks. And you go in the fall camp, and it's open competition, and you attack that competition every day, and you put your best foot forward to try and win the job. And so, really it just comes down to competing every single day and giving your best, because I don't have any more eligibility after this. Like, this is it for me. And so if I come in here one day and don't give my best, then it is such a huge waste of my time, of the coach's time, of my teammates' time. And yeah, like I said, I'm just really happy to be here, and anything less than 100% every day, I know I'll look back on and regret. I know that. And so, just trying to soak it up.
Last one for me. I saw a clip from high school, in a 65-yard field goal in practice. What's the farthest kick you got now? In practice or in game?
Yeah, I mean, I think my range is kind of topped off. I think at a certain point, your body can only hit a certain length of field goal at a certain body weight. And so I've hit from just messing around in practice from 67, around there with a good wind at my back. I feel pretty comfortable inside 55 with no wind. I'm confident I'll get it there. Yeah, it's all about consistency at this point. Yeah, just got to get them through. Doesn't matter what they look like, just got to get them through. So.
How has Coach Conley and the rest of the special teams group helped A, accept you, and B, help you grow into a Division I kicker?
That's a good question. They've been great. I mean, I will say it's all I know. This is the only Division I team I've played for, and so I don't know any different. But they have been great. Coach Connolly, when he recruited me, he said, all I can guarantee you is a chance to compete. And, that's the right way to do it. You never guarantee anything. And so he told me I can compete. I came in and I did that. And it's been great. And as far as teammates go, I think a specialist group at any school is unique. I mean, you just look at a group of specialists and you're like, yeah, you can tell that's a specialist. It's one, we're standing on the sideline, whatever it is. But they've all been great. We bonded a lot over camp. Love those guys. Love the personalities. Love getting to know them. In my opinion, that's the best part about football, is getting to know your guys. And so I've loved every minute of hanging out with them. And, our work on the field is so connected to one another. You gotta have the snap, you gotta have the hold, you gotta have the kick. And so being close off the field, having that camaraderie, is really important, and it's paid off.
You mentioned your journey and what it took to get to this point. What was that conversation like when you were offered a spot on the team?
Yeah. It meant a lot to me. It was pretty emotional, because, like I said, you just don't get the opportunity to fulfill your dreams very often. And Ball State, like I said earlier, the only school that gave me a chance. And so I sat up in Coach New's office with Coach New and Coach Connolly, and they said, we'd love to have you as a walk-on. And it's like, that's all I need. That's all I need to hear. And so it meant a lot, emotional for me. It's been a heck of a journey. It's far from over. So, yeah, it meant a lot.
It's your first year at Ball State. You've heard broad stock thrown around probably several times up to this point. Just from where you're sitting and your perspective, how much have you seen this trophy, this rivalry between Ball State and Northern Illinois?
Yeah, I'd say you don't have to be here long to know how much this game means. It took me about 3 days being here in the summer to know what happened last year against Northern Illinois, to know how that game ended, just the events that went down post game. So, yeah, I've been here since May, and I understand it fully. I know what this means, and so all that does is add fuel to the fire. That's all it should do. And so, like I said, we got this Saturday. We're ready to go out there and give it our all.
Thanks, man.
All good? All right, thanks, man. Good.
Cool.